Hello everyone, and homeowners, thanks for joining me again. Today we're going to talk about how to repair a nail pop. Not just how to repair it, but how to do it the right way and what's the wrong way, but also why does it happen? How do the nail pops occur? Well, the first thing is that if your home is older, the contractors likely were nailing the drywall instead of screwing the drywall. And especially, this house that I'm in right now was built in around 1968, and even the nails that they used back then had these grooves on them that are supposed to kind of grab the stud that it's being hammered into, and over time it shakes itself loose, especially on the exterior walls where you have a lot of temperature changes and you have expanding and contracting. If you have a home where you've got doorways and the doors are closing, it's vibrating that drywall, and that's how you get the nail pops. So I've got one behind me right now. We're going to zoom in closer on it. I'm going to tell you exactly, I'm going to show you how we're going to fix it. Here it is. I've got a little pencil outline around it, and you can even hear a difference. I'm going to see if you can hear this. Let me get my microphone as close as I can. You hear that? It's like you can hear the back of the nail. Okay, so obviously there's a stud here because we've got the same thing happening all the way up and down this line, and hopefully you can hear that difference. So we're going to dig into this. Now, what a lot of people will do is maybe just hit a hammer on here and then spackle over it, and that'll last you a little while. It's going to eventually come loose again. You're going to eventually see that pop. You may see some cracking going on with your spackle. If you're going to go through the trouble of repairing a room and repainting, just do it the right way. It takes a little bit of extra time, but this is the right way to do it. So now we want to remove the nail that's there, and then we're going to put a screw in the top and the bottom. So let's get started. So I've got two tools here. We've got a box cutter and also this all-in-one tool, which is amazing. Every homeowner should have one of these. I'm going to link to it down below in the description in case you want to just order it on Amazon. I can see the nail. Okay, can you see it there? Right here. So we want to get it out, which means I'm going to be taking the material around it off as well, okay? You can use the tool of choice to dig it out, and I've got one of these things here, just pulling it out. Okay. Let's take a look at this thing. You've got just a couple of grooves here. Very subtle, okay? And so this backed itself out. Now what we want to do is put a screw, a drywall screw here and here, and then we're going to fill it all in after. Now when you put the drywall screw in, you got to be careful. You do not want to penetrate all the way through the paper. So it's a difficult task to be able to bury it so that way it's flush without tearing in. And I have a drywall gun for drywall screws that will set it but most people don't have it, so I'm going to use just a standard screw gun that everyone else would have, because I want to be able to show you what I would do. Again, nice and slow. Okay, and you can see I just stopped there. I'm going to try to zoom in on it. Just went through, not too far, and it's fairly flush. Okay, our next step here is to clean this out. We don't want to have any of this paper exposed because it's going to stick through your spackle, right? So you want to cut it out cleanly and smoothly so the edges do not have any paper popping up, okay? There we go. There we go. So that's done. Now the other thing is there's some loose stuff in here. And if you have loose stuff, when you put your spackle in here, it's not going to stick to the whatever drywall is left. So you want to get this loose stuff out. Any large, semi-large chunks with this knife, and then I'm going to take a little vacuum. See, now you've got a good surface to apply this spackle to. All right, so I mixed up some Easy Sand 45 with hot water. I did that because I want this to dry quickly. For those of you who don't know what Easy Sand 45 is, it's the powder spackle mix you can get at your home improvement store. Yes, you can just get the little tub of spackle, pre-mixed spackle, and that's fine. I personally don't like to use it because it'll mold over time if you don't use it all. And with this, I can just mix up exactly how much I need. Now, I'm not going to just take the spackle and just float it in there. If you stuff it in there, you're going to have an air bubble in the back. Then the air bubble is going to create a situation where it doesn't dry evenly, okay? And you'll see a bubble or a depression, and then it could crack. So I'm going to push it in there just a little bit at a time, okay? So like this. Because I don't want any bubbles. So I'm pushing it from here. You can see it kind of rolling in. Okay. So now what I like to do is put on a little bit of a thicker layer and then just sand it once. You can see I've already got some okay, we're gonna leave it like that. We're gonna let it dry, and then we're gonna sand it, and hopefully we only need one sanding. Otherwise, when we come back, we'll just have only a little bit left to do. Now we're completely dry, and gonna take the sanding block here and just go over it carefully. You don't want to dig into it. You want to make it as smooth as possible. And hopefully you won't have to come back and re-spackle it or touch it up because we put on a heavier coat of spackle initially. Okay, so that was about a minute of sanding, and it is perfectly smooth now. So the next step here is to prime it, and I'm going to cover this in another video, but you're going to have to do many coats of the primer if you want it to match perfectly, because if you've ever seen a wall that's been painted after being spackled, too often you can still see the outline of the spackle, and it's not because the paint didn't cover, it's because you did not match the texture. Right now this is very flat and smooth, and the paint over here on the sides has got that orange peel to it. So before you put your final color on here, you need to create that orange peel effect that matches the orange peel effect here. And you can do that one of two ways. You can do it by getting the orange peel with the primer, or you can do it by getting the orange peel with one coat of primer and then multiple coats of your finished color. I would prefer to do it with the primer, but it's entirely up to you. But if you match the orange peel and the texture, then you will not see this repair ever again. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hopefully this was helpful to you to show you really how to fix a nail pop properly so that way it never comes back again. And if you have any questions, of course, ask them in the comments below. But more importantly, really appreciate if this has been helpful to you that you hit that like button for me. It definitely helps my channel and helps promote the video. Thanks very much, everyone, and stay tuned for the next DIY home improvement video.